this is, in my opinion, the single biggest update to the Meta's interface that we have ever received. The brand new interface for Quest headset called Navigator is finally here. It was first teased at the Meta Connect 2024, and now it's finally starting to roll out to all users in the new update version 77, and it is going to be rolling out in the next month, so it might be a little while before you receive it, but it is coming for everyone. I've received early access to the Navigator, and in fact I have been playing with it for a few weeks already, but now it's finally gone public. I am here to show you exactly what it's going to look like, because this is, in my opinion, the single biggest update to the Meta's interface that we have ever received since Quest was launched, and this is huge. Let's start. First of all, it is going to be an adjustment. It is very, very different from the way it was, at least in terms of the library, but I do think that it makes your life easier, and I will explain why. Essentially, the way your window looked like before was like this, kind of a gray looking window with general menu settings. You could scroll through them, and you still have that. But this is mainly reserved for different specific settings that you need to configure, like Wi-Fi, for example, Bluetooth, link, notifications, update, which, by the way, updates is very important because this is where you go to make sure that you're in the latest version. So I am on version 77, and you will be too. Maybe you already are, but Navigator will be rolling out to you. The main thing that's changed with the Navigator is your ability to access your games. All you need to do is just hit this Meta button, your menu Meta button, once. And this opens your Navigator. The first thing that you will see here is your apps. It's a very quick shortcut to all the VR apps and games that you have here. You start with all applications, and you will notice that it starts with pinned ones. There are also all your apps, both installed and uninstalled yet. You can sort them just like you did before. Horizon Worlds, you'll have them separate here, but you will also see them in all if you play Horizon Worlds. One thing I don't like is that if you come across a Horizon World here, it's going to look exactly the same as any game. There's no visual difference between the Horizon World and an actual app, which I think that maybe there should be. But anyway, your Horizon Plus if you're paying subscription, and your unknown sources if you're side-loading stuff. And it looks really cute. It has this kind of a faded look. You know, it's not just a window floating in front of you. It's kind of like a part of your reality. And you can also see that this is how it looks in your mixed reality. Very kind of a smooth transition. Reminds me of Apple Vision Pro. And one cool thing with the UI is that you can see there is depth difference. So the menu buttons are a little bit closer to you compared to the list of all your apps. And you can also move to your hand tracking. All of this is kind of built to be very easy to navigate with hand tracking, which I think is cool. So you can reach out, touch it, and move it. The coolest thing here is the fact that you can pin so many of these apps here. Let's look at these pinned apps, because I thought this was extremely useful. You can pin any app that you want. You just click on these three dots and click on pin. And it's gonna show up right here. I'm gonna have to test how many apps you can pin. Last time I tested it was like 8, and that was a lot. But you also might notice that I have apps like SideQuest and Netflix, and you know that Netflix doesn't have an app anymore, and this is not an app either. When I click on it, it's actually a website that shows up. Same with Netflix. When I open it, do you see how we just opened the new window? It's a website. So the way it works is you can bookmark these websites so that they show up here like apps. And then when you pin them, you literally just have a website that functions like an app. So if it's a Netflix that doesn't have an app, or if it's a WebXR game that also needs to be played from the browser, then you can do it. The way you add these pages to your library is very easy. So let's open, I don't know, Discord, for example, like that. And then you click on this menu button, then you click on add this page to your library. So this is the URL and the name for your app. You add it, and now when you open the Navigator, you will see that it showed up right here, Discord, and you can pin it as well. That's how I pinned SideQuest and Netflix, and you can pin anything here. If you open something like a Netflix app, right? So you've got your Netflix, and it opens borderless. You don't have all the clutter of the address bar and the tabs right here. It looks like an app. And I thought that was amazing. You don't have all the noise, you just enjoy your screen. One thing you can also pin is the WebXR games. WebXR games are the ones that run inside the browser, and you don't need to install them. It's just a browser that you can enter in VR. Go ahead and add this page to your library. Elysian, yeah, this one is a great one. And now you open the Navigator, you've got your Elysian right here. So remember that it's not an app, it's a WebXR game. So when I click on this, it opens up and you can just play it right now. Here it is, I'm in VR. You see that I didn't install anything, I didn't download anything. This is simply a web browser. I actually made the whole video on the best WebXR games. And yeah, you can go check it out. I'm gonna link it. So there's a whole lot that you can access now very easily. I love that there's a dedicated button now specifically for the library, because I think that that's the most important place that you need to get to when you're using your Quest. So let's see, they pinned Horizon feed, but if you don't want it, you can simply unpin it like this. Same with friends, unpin my friends list as well, because I want to make room for the apps that I'm actually using very often. This is the Meta Horizon store, and I wouldn't want to unpin it anyway, because I think that's a pretty useful place where you can explore games. Then the browser, I think, is also important. That's all. And you can keep pinning apps here, and I just want to see how many. Okay, so I can't pin them anymore. So let's count. How many is that? That's 10. All right, so you can have 10 pinned apps. Well, technically 9, because this one you cannot unpin, but you can unpin everything else. So 9 spots for pinned apps. I think that's amazing, especially considering that you can pin websites too. The only thing you cannot pin is side-loaded apps. There's a lot here. A lot has changed. This opens just the games, and in order to open any other windows like this, including the settings, you need to double tap the menu button. Double tapping closes these windows and also opens them. So here's the settings, just like before, you can move them away, you can move them higher above. I think the apps page is really important to be able to access very quickly and easily, have your apps that don't interfere with your other windows. It has its own little realm, its own little navigator, which I think is really cool. You can still access your quick settings right here in this button. Your quick settings include the volume, the brightness, the charge level, all the things that you remember from the old version. It just looks much nicer now, much faster to open. But then you click on the settings button and it opens up your settings here for all the advanced settings, which you probably won't be using as often. That's why it looks like this, so that it doesn't interfere with the navigator. So yeah, a brand new home for your library. There's also one thing that's changed when you're starting a game. Let's play Retropolis, for example. What happens when I open the navigator? Is this right here, the navigator's here, so you have the access to it. And this is your tiny little menu of the game. It really doesn't have much. Do you remember you used to have that huge window of the game when you would pause it and open the menu, but now all you have is resume or quit. And you also have your camera options, which will allow you to record a video. These are, in short, all the changes that came to the Meta platform with the Navigator. There's probably more that are going to be coming in the future, and I really can't wait for you to try this, because I think this is a huge upgrade. I'm not a fan of big changes to the UI in general, because I think that these changes just happen too often, they change too much. But this is actually a welcome upgrade, because it legit makes navigating your Quest easier and more intuitive. Let me know if you agree with this, and if you've already received your Navigator update. Drop a comment below and tell me how it works for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.